Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again. It is Thursday. I keep wanting to say today's Friday.
It does feel like Friday.
But I'm sure the days, run all together for this man as well. This is Cody Davenport, the CEO of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. This is another episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm and Integrity Roofing and Siding. We are broadcasting inside the Lexus RZ 450E, and this is the second time this week I've been here. And I was just telling Cody, I could come every day if I could, I would do that. But you essentially, first of all, thanks for being here.
Yeah, great to be
because
here.
I know you've got a million, trillion, billion things going on, and it's the 75th anniversary of the rodeo this year. And I was thinking, I'm very big into Fiesta, and it's the 75th anniversary of Ray Feo.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the 75th anniversary of the Freeman Coliseum this
It
year.
is.
So,
That's right.
if my math is correct, 1949. That's how much do you know about what was happening? Like, we're on the grounds right now, right next to the Freeman and the rodeo grounds. How much do you know about what was happening here back then?
Well, I mean, I've studied the history, some of it, and I've seen all the photos and stuff like that. But I think when it was starting, well, I'll back up. First off, you look at the photos; it's crazy. I mean, we're in the middle of pastures.
Right,
you know?
back in
I mean, when it first started down here, there's nothing around here. It's just all farmland all the way around us. And they probably thought they were being, pretty bold, sticking out way out on the east side of San Antonio in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So it's crazy to see, here we are right in the middle of urban east side right now.
There's an NBA arena right there too. And,
and it started as a stock show, so it was a place for everybody to come together and show their livestock in the county. So it just started as a stock show, and those old photos are pretty crazy. Just that they just had the barns over there just showing animals, and then they had the Coliseum. But we didn't have the first rodeo till a year later. Mm-hmm. And now you look at where we are as far as the size of the rodeo. So I think it's crazy to think the progress over 75 years.
That's right. I wonder if the train tracks were here, or how long they've been here.
They were here.
They were here.
Yeah, if you look at the aerials.
In 49.
Yep.
That's crazy because another train just went by just a little while ago, and it's part of life over here, I would imagine. So we had Justin Rumford in here a couple of days ago, the barrel man and the entertainer for the rodeo grounds, and had a great conversation. I know he and his family live here on the grounds throughout the rodeo.
Yeah.
Do you live here during the rodeo?
I do. It's funny you were just bringing up the trains. So I literally live like right over here. I have a trailer, and it backs right up to the train tracks. So
that must be great at night when you're trying to sleep.
It's hilarious because when I first come down, I get used to it. When I first come down, like when I finally settled in, because I've been living out here 6 weeks already. People don't realize how long it takes to set up. So I've been living out here 6 weeks.
You got out here 6 weeks ago?
Well, I'm in my 6th week right now, and I'll be a total of 8 weeks, almost 2 months living down here. I like to be here 24 hours with the setup and everything going on, so I'm here, and my family comes in very regularly. But it's funny, when I get down here, it always takes me, the first couple of nights, you're laying there in bed and everything starts rattling and shaking and the train's going by and you're like, wake up. And then now I can sleep through a tornado. It wouldn't even bother me.
You could. That's interesting. I mean, I figured you might live down here, but I didn't realize you were here that long. But I guess you have to be, as large as this of a production as it is, you have to come down here early.
Well, definitely during the rodeo, I need to be here 24 hours for sure. But I like to be here with my volunteers when they're setting everything up. And they work in shifts, and they work late at night, stuff like that. I just like to be around for them.
Yeah.
It's part of my job, and I enjoy it. I want to be here.
So I know better that your job, you're the CEO of the Stock Show and Rodeo, and it's not just a 2.5 week job. But the other 49.5 weeks of the year, how would you explain to the lay person that doesn't follow rodeo necessarily what is the job of the CEO?
Yeah, it's it's very, very diverse.
Yeah.
A lot of it is obviously people would suspect it's just the planning and stuff like that of the rodeo and the grounds and the production and that aspects of it. But really, that's just a portion of it. A lot of it is strategic type forward thinking and what we're going to do. And we talk a lot about, how we're going to grow, long-term strategies, where we're headed in the industry, working with the universities and the various programs that are out there on the education side of where our students, our kids, our scholarships, things like that type programs are in, where the trends are moving in all those areas. So we're constantly on top of the world of agriculture as a whole, where it's going, where we need to fulfill the youth side of it for the future of it, things like that. So a lot of university work, a lot of outreach like that. And then strategies inside of our show. One of our big initiatives down here is to embrace urban type students and stuff like that, how we can get them into our programs all the way to equine horse riding programs and things like that. People don't realize this, but I went to Compton, LA, and studied equine programs for the inner city there. So
really,
I was there for over a week, studying programs there in the inner city, how we could bring some of those elements here. So a whole lot of things are going on year round that nobody thinks of. There's not as much time as you would think, thinking about, okay, well, what pin of bulls are we bringing in on this night and stuff like that. We kind of got that down to a science.
Right.
It's more the overall strategy of the industry as a whole, how we're going to embrace San Antonio, how we're going to keep kids in the pipeline of agriculture, things like that.
I'm just having a visual with respect to the people of Compton, California. You walking in with your cowboy hat in Compton.
Yeah.
Compton does not. It's not known, or I guess publicly, has a reputation for being a rodeo place, but you obviously see something there.
It was very funny. Like we definitely stuck out, like a sore thumb. So, this is the way we dress every day, believe it or not. So, we stuck out like a sore thumb in LA, but they embraced us. But going into Compton, they actually, in the inner city there, they have youth programs with horses inside there. And that's why we wanted to study. We understand horses in the rural and ranch environment. How can we bring horses to the inner city and get kids involved? And Compton was as far out of our normal realm as possible. And we like to study things like that. And we learned some very valuable insight on how we could get urban-type kids involved in the programs by being in Compton, LA. It was wonderful being there. They embraced us. It was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. I've been in Minnesota. We went to Minnesota State Fair up there to study how, we try to get out of our normal patterns to study other things. So Minnesota's about as far as as this kid can get. So,
from South Texas,
From South Texas, So I'm up there in Minnesota studying their fair and how they promote, their form of agriculture up there and things we could bring back here. Iowa, we were at the Iowa State Fair.
That's a big one.
Studying that one as well. So we do a lot of, outreach throughout the nation so we can find things that we can bring back to San Antonio.
Very cool. Very cool. Lisa's on here saying, hi, good afternoon. So hello to you, Lisa. And if any of you have any questions for Cody or just rodeo stories, or somebody was asking the other day, asked Justin what his favorite rodeo food was here. And I'd imagine you've had some rodeo food in your day. Do you have a favorite?
I did. I'm very upset because my favorite was we had this hot chocolate chip cookie maker. They came out of the oven. And what I would do was when I could hide from everybody, I thought I was sneaking, and I would come at the end of the concert, I think about 11 o'clock, and they knew I was coming, and I'd round that corner, and they would have a warm, thing with my ice cold milk waiting for me right before they shut down, and I would sit there and gorge on cookies and milk right before I went to sleep, and then wonder why I had a hard time sleeping all night long. But that was my pattern, was to go in there and gorge on these chocolate chip cookies at 11 o'clock every night. And they're not here this year, and I'm extremely upset.
Oh my
gosh.
I
got to go find them and get them back. So, yeah.
Well, you're a remarkably trim guy.
Maybe it helped they weren't here this year.
Well, I was going to say, but you have to traverse. I mean, I know you have a golf cart and everything, but you walk the grounds and everything, so you get your steps in.
Yeah, no, I get my steps. And we actually have a gym here on the grounds. Our staff trains. You'd be amazed.
I guess that makes sense for the Cowboys or for the riders and for the performers.
Even our announcers, we've got a couple of our announcers that train with us in the morning. We've got a good routine going. But you go there early in the morning over there, and a lot of our rodeo personnel and our staff here are all working out together to start the day.
Got it. Okay, so you mentioned being in Minnesota, which is about as far away for a South Texas kid. You grew up. Now, you spent time in Uvalde, or did you grow up there?
I was born in Uvalde, and I spent a lot of my youth there. I actually went to high school here in San Antonio at Churchill High School. So I got a great experience of both. And I always had family in Uvalde, so I could, go there in the summers. But then I grew up, going to school in San Antonio. So my world is perfect. I had the best of both worlds.
And when you were at Churchill, did you play sports, or were you already thinking the agriculture, the ranching life, the rodeo life?
No, because at Churchill, we didn't even have 4-H or FFA programs. So it was kind of ironic. I played football there. I had a great experience playing football at Churchill. I played under Jerry Comlander.
Sure.
I have some great friends still from my football days at Churchill. I never would have gotten that type of experience of playing that type of football if I hadn't, gone there. And, I look back on those days again. I had unbelievable experiences going out to the ranch with my family in a more rural, alone area, but then yet getting the pomp and circumstances of being in a big city and playing football on the big stage in high school here in San Antonio. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Was it your grandfather that it kind of introduced you to ranching and that kind of agricultural life once upon a time?
Yeah, my granddad, he was a very traditional old school rancher from that area, and he was kind of my, my idol growing up. So I always wanted to be, like my granddad. So that attracted me to that side. But a lot of people don't realize this, but my father, I have family that farm in Central America. We grow bananas down there. So I have a farming side too. Most people equate, my background was ranching, but I also have heavy influence from farming.
Okay.
My brothers are currently down there farming in Guatemala and Nicaragua right now.
Really?
And we go down there every year, and I have a lot of farming background.
Very good, very good. And so that made you, tailor-made for the role that you have right now. And I know you didn't just slide into the CEO, the executive director role. You quite literally started as a volunteer, right? And slowly worked your way up. What was the timeline? When did you first get your first taste of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo?
We showed up here in, about 95, and I went to the junior livestock auction over here. And it's kind of funny. A group of us got together and we said, we want to help throw some money at these kids over there. So we got a little artist that was coming up by the name of Robert Earl Keen, and he would play these little concerts for us, and we'd sell tickets, raise a little money, and we'd go sell it over there. And then I just got done talking with Robert. He played here, at the big house a night or two there ago. So we were laughing. I was like, I was back when I was a kid, and you were playing at our little 300 people deals, and now you're, playing here with us. But I started there. I spent all the years down here volunteering through ranch. We put on the ranch rodeo. We put on the barbecue cook-off, me and all my buddies. Never in a million years did I ever dream this would be like my career.
Yeah.
And it just, after serving on various committees and executive committee, and then I had the honor of serving as a president down here. And when Keith Martin was leaving, they came in and asked if I'd be willing to come in here every day, and I kind of fell out of my chair. And I was like, well, I've been doing it, all these years. I'll just end my career down here.
You didn't realize you were already training for the position you were ultimately going to have.
I did. And it's very handy because with 6,000 volunteers, it's kind of funny. I have done everything, so I can look at them and I can relate to every single one of them because I have been in their shoes at one point or another. It makes it very easy to be down here.
And there is something to be said for that. Somebody that has gone through, all doing the dirty work, if you will.
Yeah. Yes, I've done all the dirty work.
Quite literally, probably. Dirty stuff.
I have shoveled things. Yes, I've done it all.
I can only imagine. I'll take your word for it. Cody Davenport, the CEO and Executive Director of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo here on Pickup Lines. And, you think about, I don't know if people realize just the scope of this. I mean, there's several dozen banners in the Frostbank Center talking about, all the awards that the rodeo has won. Yeah. But in terms of the economic impact, compared to like a fiesta, if you will, and especially the money you guys give back for scholarships, it is really impressive.
It is, and I think that, we've been humble about talking about it, and I'm proud of it because it's all of us. I think it's something we have to be quiet about because it's a San Antonio event. Everywhere I go around the country, San Antonio's in front of us. Like, I'm representing San Antonio out there. Yeah. So this is something we all can be proud of. But yeah, I was shocked to even realize when we got our economic impact that we just had done, and we're at 280, I think it was 288 million total of economic impact of this event coming back into San Antonio and our community. And these are people that are coming from all over the state that are coming in here, staying in hotels, filling our restaurants, going to the Riverwalk, going to the zoo, and they're bringing that outside money in. That's great for all of us, right? Mm-hmm. And then you turn around and in giving, since our inception, we're at $255 million giving back. Just last year alone, we're at $12.1 million, going back. And, we talk about all these numbers in dollar terms, but what I think is cool is we went back and I said, let's put this on a human level and quit just talking about dollars. Go back and find last year how many youth we impacted through the various programs, and the number came back at 18,000 youth were impacted by the efforts of all of these volunteers down here. So that puts it on a human level. 18,000 lives were affected by the efforts down here. I'm proud of that. That's not something that I want to bury or hide. I think it's something we all should be proud of.
Oh, you should get a megaphone out and scream that from the top of the Frostbank Center. That's amazing. I think you're right. People just don't realize, what happens. They come out here and they have a great time, but but I wanted to make sure people knew just the scope. I mean, it's a massive scope. I think the last time, and I could be wrong, the last time you and I spoke, one-on-one like this, I believe it was in 2020 during the pandemic.
Yes.
And if I recall, you were live inside the Freeman Coliseum, and I was doing the morning show, and we spoke. And I wonder how often you go back to that time and think about what was going through your mind, because I remember a lot of stuff was shut down. The rodeo kept going. It was like a different kind of a.
It was a watered down version.
A watered down version of the rodeo, but it was going on, and I wonder now what you were thinking back then, and now kind of what are we 3-4 years removed from that? Did you think we could get back to what the rodeo is today?
I did. I'm an optimist by nature, and I think that I'm being from this area of Texas and stuff, and I 100% believe in our community, and our people, because I've seen it firsthand. I see how good it is. So I guess to answer your question, I knew we were getting beat down during the COVID pandemic. We all were. I was adamant that we were going to go forward. I felt that we could do it in a safe manner.
Did you take heat for that at the time?
I did. I took quite a bit of heat on it, and that's okay. That's okay. I believed in what we were doing. I believed that we were in a safe format. Never would have done anything reckless. I believe we had done enough research, and it was proven it worked. But we had done enough research. It was going to be a safe event, and we owed it to those seniors, those kids, that this was their last chance to get to do all of this. We owed it to them. We owed it to our community. We owed it to the rodeo community. I firmly believed in that, and going forward, I still look back, it was the best thing that we did, and I think we needed to be shown that we could find a safe way to go forward and continue going on with our lives and this type of stuff. It worked.
Yeah.
But back to your original question, I believe in this community so much, I knew we would bounce back. I knew it. I knew that the community of San Antonio was going to come back in force, and they did. The very next year, we had record years. So this community is such a giving community. It's such a warm culture down here. And you take the rodeo and it highlights all aspects of this culture that everybody loves so much. And I knew they were going to come back. And they did. They never let me down.
Well, I think, and I'm just as guilty as anybody else, I take a lot of these things for granted. Oh, rodeo, February, okay, it'll be back. And then when you have a pandemic or something like that and it gets taken away from you, or suddenly you can't be within 6 feet of each other.
Yeah.
We couldn't have had this conversation like this, 4 years ago, but it worked out.
Humans are built to be around each other together, right? I mean,
I think so.
We're built to be like that, and we are a cultural representative, I believe, of this region here. It's highlighted in our arena and everywhere, and people need that in their lives. It makes us stronger. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite part? I mean, and it might be like asking which of your children is your favorite, but do you have a favorite?
That depends on the day.
All right, so Thursday, today.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite part of the rodeo, or something that you would encourage every visitor to see or experience?
Yeah, that's a difficult question, because there's so many obviously awesome things that I haven't been down there so long. But I think that I have two. I'm going to say two.
Okay.
My favorite part of our production side is the rodeo in that arena. And the reason is, I think in our productions, we capture everything that this place is promoting and believes in one window of production, through our videos or actions and things like that.
Right.
Love of country, love of our military and our first responders, pride in our heritage, pride in the Hispanic and the Charro, Vaquero background, and we're the gateway to the sport of rodeo. It came out of Mexico, came to us, and then has spread into the sport itself. And I think we highlight, that. And I think all these things of family and the thrill of competition and things like that, that's all highlighted in our arena in a captured window of production. And that's everything around here, just in there. So I love the productions inside of the rodeo. But also something I wish everybody could experience is going to one of these scholarship presentations where a child has won that competition and all the stuff they went through to win that. And then you're able to sit there and you're able to award that winner a scholarship, and you watch their lives change. And sometimes the kids, they don't fully grasp it, but their parents do.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting there with a mom and a dad, and they're teared up, and they're like, my kid's now going to get to go to their, I've heard stories about my kid always wanted to go to this dream
Yeah.
college, and this is going to put them over the top to get to attend that dream college because we weren't sure. We needed that one last little hurdle to get them there. And when you witness that kind of stuff, you're like, I've been fueled for another year. I can work 24 hours a day.
That's great.
I'm there. I wish everybody could experience that once.
Yeah, yeah. Because you even see it sometimes on camera, pictures or video clips, but that doesn't do it justice. If you're in the room, you just get chills.
The raw emotions of those families is awesome.
So I got to tell you, I went through. My oldest is a senior in high school right now, and several years ago we went through a brief 4-H stage, and she chose to raise rabbits at that time, and which of course meant I raised rabbits and my wife raised rabbits for a little while. The point I'm trying to make is that experience was crazy and everything. We were able to do it, but I grew to have so much more respect for these kids that got up so early in the morning every day, and these massive animals that they're raising, and the hours upon hours that they put in the work and everything. It just gave me such a greater appreciation for what they do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it takes a kid, and it's so healthy for a kid. Like, let's face it, we're all kids. The world revolves around us, right? We think we're it. The world revolves around us,
right?
And having an animal that is dependent upon you, and you realize you're not it, and you got to go take care of that animal.
Yeah.
And there's no I'm going to sleep in today, or I'm going to go and I'll see him in a day or two. The animal literally is reliant upon you. Mm-hmm. There's something that's kind of humbling about it. Mm-hmm. Something that's very grounding about it, and then the connection they have with that process just makes them better citizens.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing at your rabbits because my kids showed goats,
right?
And I love livestock, obviously, but a goat is the biggest pain in the rear. And we showed goats, and my buddies finally, when my kids grew up, they were laughing so hard at me because they said, "Why did you not do rabbits?"
Yeah.
They go, "We showed rabbits, and we had a better return on our investment in time than you did, and the rabbits were so much better." And I look back every time somebody brings rabbits up, I'm like so mad. I go, "Why did I not do rabbits?"
Well, listen, I was terrible at it. I mean, everything worked out fine, and we did okay. We didn't embarrass ourselves, but they were a handful, and man, did they poop a lot.
Yes, they did.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
But again, just hats off, salute to all those kids that are doing that and everything.
They're working hard.
And this is the payoff right now. So do you ever run into, you talked about Robert O'Keefe, how much interaction do you have with the celebrities and the dignitaries, the performers that come in and spend some time here?
Not really as much as people would think. Not a whole lot.
All right.
Mine's more on the I'm on the rodeo production side.
Yeah.
I deal a lot with them. There's certain artists that I'm interested in. I mean, being a kid of the '80s, I just there's certain ones I have to meet.
Yeah.
And and I was when Sammy Hagar came in, I had to meet Sammy Hagar as an example. But most of your mainstream country ones, I listen to them. But there's only certain ones I'm like, I have to go meet them. So.
Every year when the entertainment lineup comes out, the first thing I do is look for those 80s bands or the classic rock bands. Like, I'm hoping to come to Styx next week. I know Cheap Trick was here. And those are the ones that I love.
Me too. I mean, it's part of my generational deal. And I listen to country music quite a bit, but for some reason, my youthful 80s stuff, which is funny because they're all out touring right now, so we're able to get them. We even had...
There's my buddy Richard over there. He just said on Facebook he sees me, and now I see him too. But it's crazy. Small world.
We had 38 Special, Night Ranger, all those.
Love them. Sister Christian. I mean, I could.
Yeah.
I was telling Cody, this is not carpool karaoke, so I'm not going to make you sing or anything.
Probably good for
But
all of us.
I've seen Pat Benatar and Hart here, and I'm forgetting some people, but those look. I love.
We had ZZ Top. We had.
And I told Justin Rumford the other day, your barrel man, I said, having been in live TV all these years doing the news and everything, the production that you guys do between Justin, the sound effects person, the music person, the videography and everything, to do that every night as a live production, because it's very precise. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the coolest things about this place.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you recognizing that.
Seriously,
people don't realize how much goes in to the production. We have regular production meetings, and they don't realize that we're up there clocking it to the second.
Sure.
And we're dealing with animals, so a lot of what we're doing is it's to the second, and then a bull hangs up, and he doesn't turn out, and we're off time, and we try to reset time.
Right.
and it's a unique production, but we are monitoring that extremely down to the songs you're hearing. Everything in there is worked out to a detail. And people, it's funny, they don't realize that when they want to study us on the inside, and they come to our production meetings and they go on the stand with me and stuff like that, they have no idea what all goes behind that type of production. So I appreciate you recognizing that, and I hope people are having fun with it and enjoying it.
Having done, I mean, I could argue I've worked with animals in the past too doing TV news, but that's a whole other story. But seriously, I sit up there and watch, and I'll tell my wife, I'm like, I mean, and we'll laugh out loud because it's like funny with the, and to do that and to pull that off is not as easy as it might look, kids out there. So just be aware of all that. I was thinking too, a couple more minutes here with Cody, just, raising animals and all of that, I mean, keeps the kids off the devices too, and they don't have the phone. I mean, I'm guessing unless you can, there's some technology to use that.
Times have changed. It's kind of funny. I mean, yes, it keeps them off the devices, but I will see them over there with their animals, like, oh, come on.
There's probably an app for that.
My kids are the same way. They're like, get off the damn phone. But I know it's a time of the age, and I get on mine more than I should too. But
we all do.
It's still a very grounding thing, and it makes you realize, when you work with animals and stuff like that you don't have control of everything around you. You got to relax a little bit and let go.
That's true.
There's a higher power, and you're not it, and it's kind of grounding.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, final thought here with Cody. Looking ahead, you get 75 years almost under your belt now with the rodeo here. What are some things in terms of big picture planning? Beyond some other things that you'd like to do with the rodeo?
Yeah, no, I think that one of the big things we're trying to do is as agriculture changes, I think the backgrounds of the farm and the ranch kids and the community and stuff like that, it's decreasing. That's just natural. Farms and ranches are getting bigger. A lot of reasons like that, but we're not as agrarian as we used to be, right? Mm-hmm. So that, in my mind, creates opportunities for us. Yeah. That's when we go back to the Compton thing. Our projected strategies going forward are, we want to develop programs and exposure for kids in San Antonio that do not come from your traditional farm and ranch background. Competitive events, ag robotics, public speaking over agricultural topics, nursery, growing vegetables, things. We have a whole list of competitive events that kids that maybe live in apartments or suburban neighborhoods and things like that. We have a whole list of events that we're working on out there to ease those barriers, get those kids down here where they can compete, and it's still agriculture. If you're doing public speaking, but you're speaking over water issues and things like that, well, that's agriculture. So you're still learning it, but it's something you can do and be a part of the rodeo, even if you don't have the land to go out and have a steer or stuff like that. We're working very hard on those. The other one is we want to bring rough stock schools in here, where I can have inner city kids to learn how to ride broncs, learn how to ride bulls and things like that, and say, okay, you want to enter the rodeo world? You want to be a rodeo contestant? That's something you want to do? We're going to have programs inside of here where we're going to teach you and bring in coaches and stock and let you learn the right way. And if that's something you want to do, we'll help you pursue that. We need rodeo contestants out there. How awesome would it be if we found a way that we could get urban kids to ride this rough stock and give them that chance? Last one being our equine program that we're going to be working on here. We're already bringing the horses for it, and that's to take kids and have after-school programs where they can come with us. We'll teach them how to ride horses and be a part of that program after school to give them options if they're not involved in sports or whatever. Give them things they can do that they can come down here with us and let them have that lifestyle, even if they don't live on a farm ranch. That's us adapting to the times.
Sure.
And making sure that we're keeping kids interested, involved, and understanding agriculture, because that's what we're about.
And it's so cool that you see that, and that you would, like I said earlier, it's a 52-week-a-year job where you're traveling or finding new ways to evolve and everything. And I mean, it's obviously paying off because you've got, like I said, all those banners in the arena that show how well you guys have done. And here's to 75 more years of success and beyond. It's great to visit with you, Cody. I'm so thrilled. I always appreciate the hospitality here, and I can't wait to come back here in a few days without the camera, and be able to just kind of let loose and have some fun. Next time, I need you to help me find a hat, because I've never owned a cowboy hat in my life.
We can work on that.
So that's
We've
the
actually
next
done
thing.
A lot of people.
Okay, good. So there's hope for me. Great to see you, sir.
Yeah,
all the
thanks
best.
for having me.
SARodeo.com for more information on everything. The 75th anniversary of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo continues. Cody Davenport is the man who runs the whole production, and makes it run so smoothly. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
This is another episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm and Integrity Roofing and Siding. We'll be back very soon with another episode right here. Have a great day.